And welcome back to episode 8 here of our challenge to make the smallest village on the map, Ninwood, less than 67 people in the village at the start of episode 1. We're now into episode 8 and we're up to over 546, which is getting closer to some of the bigger cities. So some of our regional neighbours are Pruffington, just under 3,000, and over here, Gendingworth Falls, just over 2,000. So we're not a million miles away. Now, what I want to do is start sending some goods down here, but we don't actually accept goods yet, which is a bit of a problem. So let's see if there's any way we have of actually finding a method to take goods. And just note the town just doesn't quite take goods yet. We're going to make a couple of changes. First of all, we're going to start the ball rolling again. So everything is back up and running. What we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to build a statue to every single town that we have a station in is going to get a statue, because it does help your rating. And on top of that, what we're going to do is we're going to little cheat here a little bit. Well, not really, but we're going to fund new buildings, because it might help speed up the process of growing the town. So if we go to our stations map and look at just where we have our railway stations, and we're going to click into each one of them, and then each city we are in is going to get a lovely statue. We have about 17 million in the bank as we start this. I think we probably will struggle to spend this 200,000 a time as quickly as we're nearly making it at the moment. It's one of those weird situations where we're doing so well with our coal that I think we'll probably outspend ourselves. Flenwell City is here. So what I want to do is make sure that each of these train stations is running smoothly. And the best way to do that is to get the rating as high as possible. And one of you very kindly told me about this little feature where if you build a statue in the town, you get a 10% boost. And I don't mean if you're 40%, you get a boost to 50% or to 44%. You get 10 full percentage points, which is an absolutely massive rating boost to some of these little towns and some of these cities. So it does help your rating. It helps how everybody looks at you. It helps all of that good stuff. Little Drumming, where's Drummondville Mines? Little Drummondville Local Authority. We also want to set up another train coming from a coal mine. Ninwood. We have one in Ninwood over at Bridge Mines. So yeah, this is a little bit time consuming, a little bit tedious, but the difference it makes is phenomenal, and it just gives your ratings a boost. There we go, plenty of wood. And I just want to check where our little local, that last train station that we want to connect to that northern line is, and if it has been connected up. I don't think we've done that yet. So Slanningbury is not there. There it is. Suffing Pool. So as you can see, we just click through to each of these places that we have a presence that we're collecting coal from at the moment, and increase our, we're going to come back here now, just pin that for a second. Suffing Pool, we have Treadingworth, Treadingworth, Wanningwell Mines is here. Local Authority, build a statue. And it does. So as you can see, if you look at this Wanningworth here, where our ratings are down at 71%, we're just going to keep an eye on that for an example. And I'll show you what actually happens in practice. Wanningwell. So we start at 71%, and that will just incrementally grow to about 80-81%, which the difference between that is huge in terms of it's the percentage of the share of the markets you get in terms of all of those stock. So when the coal comes out, how much of it goes to be transported is down to your rating. So if we look at Wanningwell, we're up to 76% already. That will settle somewhere around 80-81%, provided we keep up our fantastic or rather our excellent coverage, which of course we have a train waiting in the station, so that kind of goes without saying. Jenningworth Falls, we have some fair few passengers there. Our ratings are mediocre and mail is mediocre, so we may need to add in an extra train into the network. Let's do that. Let's clone another train and just have it run through. And hopefully we won't be able to keep our ratings up. It's probably easier said than done sometimes. There is a route round to here. What have we got here in Jenningworth Falls? We're not too bad. Jenningworth Falls and Puffing Bridge. Okay, so it's just a case of waiting to see how we get on in those. Now, I have noticed over here, and I think I'm going to build it just for the sake of our local, building up our local reserves. We have a farm here and a factory here, and then we can tap into this network and bring it all to here once they allow goods. Now we can get goods even in here, so we're going to build up a source of goods so that when we want to or need to, we're going to be able to get away with having goods on tap. It's a little bit too far away, so let's lower some of this land. And we'll go to this corner here. Hopefully that should be enough. Perfect. Grain and livestock. Now, I'm not over the moon about the idea of having to rip through the farm like that, but I think it's a necessary evil, unfortunately. So, and of course our signals are vitally important to avoid any kind of hassle with people giving us grief along the lines later. I'm going to try and build a little corner bridge here through this island so that we can, yeah, there we go. And if we keep it this far over, we should be able to just, yeah, there we go, perfect. So we can just nicely get between the two. So there we go, across the island. Excellent. And we're going to put the train station. Now we're going to try 4 tracks wide because we want to have the option of 2 trains coming in and 2 trains going out on opposite sides of the station, but that don't necessarily interfere with each other. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Excellent. Just make sure that those go the whole distance. Perfect. Well, it hadn't, but now it does. Good. Okay, let's join. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to do. So it's here. And we want to join up these 2 trains. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so now we are in a pretty healthy spot. We're going to do our little crossover here so we can use both tracks. And then don't forget to put in our signals. Very important. Again, just need to avoid having any kind of accidents where you have train smashes. There we go. And that is the wrong way around. Of course, you messed that one up. So let's try this again. Come up one that way, go down on this one. Yeah, so just to be safe, we put in an extra set at the end. Perfect. So now we should be able to take trains from here with livestock and grain and run them Perfect. So we take a train from there, a livestock train. We go from Banfing Bridge North to here and go. And then we're going to create a different type of train. It's going to be a grain hopper with the exact same orders. So it's going to have the exact same orders, and it's going to go to. Now we will be cloning both of these vehicles, but we're going to wait. Actually, no, we're going to clone the vehicles now, but we're going to wait to see which one we release by which one fills up first. So that should provide us with raw materials here to provide goods. And of course the goods are a big commodity, so we want to link up the goods to this network. We're going to drop them to Proofing Bridge first, but hopefully we can get to a situation where there are goods available back in Ninwood. I think ultimately that's what I want to have, is that Ninwood has these resources on its doorstep, and that we can really build like that. So perfect. Ninwood. Want to grow this back to here, and then we'll take the second one out here. Okay, now tidy this up a little bit because we've made a bit of a dog's dinner of it. There we go. And once again we have our little crossovers. Like, these are really easy to do. It's just real simple. Just gives access to both platforms, to all of the trains taking part. I'm not a massive fan. I can't build signals here. Of course I can. I'm not a massive fan of doing it this way. Let's go back here and let's attach everything up. So, and where are our depot? Give ourselves a bit of space, and our depot is going to bring us goods, and it's going to bring us from here to the bigger town at the moment, Proofing Bridge. Not ideal, but it is the only option we have at this moment in time. So goods vans, and we'll send him off, and then we're going to clone it. So we have two just waiting for each other. Now, as you can see up here, it looks like the grain train is going to fill up a little bit quicker. So I'm going to release the grain train first. And it just means it will be waiting before the other one gets to the station. Okay, so nicely ticking along there. We'll just have to wait and see how we get on with the goods. I think it's going to make Proofing Bridge skyrocket to some extent. And over here, Ninwood 652, we are continuing to grow and grow a little bit, week by week, day by day. In terms of our ratings, very happy with our main station, but our smaller stations probably not so hot. Passengers not too bad there. Passengers here, 81%. You've got to be happy with that. 80%. Have we built up a situation where we've got passengers here yet? No. Ninwood Woods, Ninwood West. Our mail could be better. Why didn't that stop? That's really weird. It's just gone straight through. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we are where we are. So we've got money just pouring in. Now, we did spend a lot of money on those, particularly the on the statues. Each one in each town. Here's our local one. Let's go back and see how our goods trains are getting along. Has one arrived yet? It is in the process of. I'm okay with these climbing. The only problem now will be eventually you're going to get to a situation where the grain is sitting in there with a spare track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a third track. Now, in practice, what that means is that each track will end up having each track is going to end up with a sorry, I will finish the sentence. Each track is going to end up with either, when it's full, will either have 2 grains and 1 livestock, or 1 livestock and 2 grains, but there will always be space for each of the routes to have at least 1 train there. We could possibly waypoint and only let certain I'm not sure what that is doing. No, don't know. So as you can see, the grain. Oh no, why is it not going in? Oh, that's very strange. I have no idea why that's not going in. But it's not going in. Let me just, it might be to do with if we drag and drop. Okay, not to worry. So we've now delivered two sets of cargoes, which means that we now have, as we can see, our goods train coming the whole way down to our larger town, and it should have a huge impact when it does eventually hit in. What is going on? 12,000. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's go back up here to where we have our final coal mine of this particular region, and we're going to build it. I think ultimately we're probably going to join these up at some point, maybe through here, and it will become a network of sorts, because this network is not that far away from joining this network. So let's maybe build that while we're waiting. So we can actually build a network here, if that works. Not really. We're going to come down this side, close to the town. It's going to mean going either under the farm, or probably more realistic, through the farm. I'm not sure how okay I am with any or all of that, but we're just going to have to get on with it. So this is going to be our little happy place. So this comes down here. This comes down here. Of course, that won't let me build because it's stuck in the middle. Okay, we're going to bring it down here for the time being, so we can pick off our coal supply, and of course that would do that. And I think we can get from everywhere we want to everywhere else. So if we're coming up from this route, we can take that left, or we can go here. If we're coming from here, we can go there or down this way, and from here we can go that way, or no, we have to go this way. There. So it's a bit of an unorthodox junction. I'm not a massive fan, but I don't hate it. I hate how close that is. But again, there's very little we can do about it. So we're going to put that stop there. I'm going to put this one down here somewhere. We're going to take that one out. Okay, so it's a little bit unorthodox, but it will do what we want it to do, which is good. So we can now go all 3 directions from that particular route, and we're going to build a station off here. We'll make it 2 tracks as usual, 4 length, as always. And we're going to put it back a little bit, just as a few extra bits and pieces of space. And this is the final coal mine we're going to join up to this particular network. And once we have this done, it should be running like a fine engine. I do kind of wish we could take goods into Nindwood. It would make it an awful lot easier in terms of what we're trying to do, because I think goods will allow us to really kick on. I see what the problem is. I see what the problem is. We're going to just put that there for the time being. And we're going to remove the other ones. New vehicles. We're going to build yet another coal truck. I know it's getting a little bit monotonous. We might try something a little bit different, but just the money is just too big for us to ignore. I wish we could ignore it, but it's just too valuable. Okay, so that is both of our trains up and running. We'll close this down. And you can see here we are ready to rock and roll. That's great. 140 crates of goods. That's all very positive. And it's coming back to us again from there. Okay. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I haven't actually connected it up. There we go. Now we have our final route open. And that should make a huge world of difference to just the speed that we can move in and out of that particular spot. Okay. So we have another series of grain coming in. And that should fill up this particular train and send it packing and bring it into Puffing Bridge. Let's see what's happening over here. Oh, we're up to nearly 1,000 people. We must be allowed to bring in goods. Oh, we are. We're going to change before this one sets off. We're going to change its orders. We're going to throw a spanner in the works. We're going to delete that and go to here. Now, with any bit of luck, we should absolutely destroy it now in the next little bit of time. We're going to watch that train. No, we don't want that just yet. They should all be going to Ninwood. Excellent. Now, are there any other farms that we can just connect to our network and bring down here? Now, this network isn't quite joined up yet, but I think we're going to try and bring it around and stay out as much as possible out of the way of what we're doing here. So let's bring it from here. We're going to try and connect these two networks together. We're not going to get completely through it, but we might get. We can avoid taking farmland away. And what we might do is we might actually just do a little tunnel under the farm, or under the river, rather. If we go under the river, we should be able to avoid. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go under the river. And you'll see what I mean by that. It just avoids us having to put in place bridges. So we can just go under the river and up on the other side. We might end up having to cut off the corner. Yeah, I think we're going to end up just cutting the corner. And that's okay. Well, as much as can be avoided. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. Okay, so we're going to bring this down to here. Cut across there and finish that off. And now we have a complete working network, which feels kind of deadly. So we've just joined up two of our networks into one another, and we can now get from this entire network down to this station here. So we have a bit of a stumbling block here. We could expand it out. In time we will expand it out. but it means that we have goods coming into Ninwood for the first time ever, which I'm particularly excited about. Let's follow this train as it heads that way. Which is it's big news. What can I say? It's a big set of news, and I'm very happy. Let's just tidy up a little bit of land here. We're just going to demolish that, and we're going to take that little bit out. Not that it really matters. And then we're going to just raise the land around that, and just for that little bit of extra space. Okay, so we've got what we can, and let's see where we end up here as we come into our terminal. Our goods are helping us grow up to 915. That's way above my expectations for this particular episode, but I'm happy that we have 21,000. That's really good news. We have a couple of crates of goods there. We probably need another goods train because it appears like our goods trains are a little bit too efficient. So which one is our goods train? That's our mail train. There's our goods train there. Okay, so that's been a very nice addition to our fleet. We are looking at our farms. What other farms have we got that we can send down this neck of the woods? We don't want to completely clog up our lines, but if there are farms, let's start connecting a few farms to the network. Here's one. And this could be a little gold mine, essentially. Let's start here. Let's put in a network here. Grain and livestock. That's going to just come through there. And this is going to be our main assault for the next episode, is joining up as many farms as are currently close to or on our network, and joining them up and getting them delivered to that particular factory, and creating goods and farming those goods. Not farming, but you know what I mean. Getting those goods to Ninwood, just to watch Ninwood absolutely explode. And that's just for the purposes of having it properly set up. Let's get that in and done like that. And everyone can go everywhere they need to. Great. And we want a new vehicle. Steam vehicle. Livestock to start off with. We're going to go here. And we're going to go down here. And we are going to clone this train twice, but we're only going to set one of them off just yet. And then we come back to new vehicles. We're going to have a grain hopper. We're going to have to do every single one of them here. And 58 is going to go to the exact same route. And we will be cloning 58 as well. And setting off 58. So now we have a grain hopper and a livestock hopper from each of these two. Now we can set these off. The grain tends to be a little bit quicker than the livestock, so we'll send the grain first, and they can just wait for us to be ready. And they can head off in a couple of minutes. What's happening here? Ninwood. That's a strange one, but okay. It is what it is. Now I'm feeling that our network may possibly get too small really quickly. particularly if we start farming out more, literally farming out more farms into that network. I might put in an extra option here just so it doesn't get overcrowded again. Just the one track extra, and let's put in our one way. Okay, so now we have, just make sure that's boxed off. So now we have 4 trains, 4 platforms. There's space for everybody. We can increase this if our overall increments work, but you can see here that this is increasing and increasing. It's really good at the moment. I'm really happy with what's there. Excellent, excellent. Let's put that 10% bonus on can't even say the name. Faffing Bridge. Let's build a statue, and let's see if we get that extra 10% bonus, which can only help. So the way these work is when you're over 70%, it actually increases the likelihood that the production of the farm will increase month on month. Ninwood Woods now accepts passengers. That's good. That's a very good news story. What about here? That does. This one is, oh, Ninwood Exchange is now accepting. Oh, still nothing. But I'm not quite sure what they're waiting for. Oh, it's just part of their. It's just part of their pattern. Train 59. Yeah, that's because it's waiting. We know that. It needs one of these two to leave before it can fill up. You can see here livestock is very slow, so that could take a while for that to happen, but we are where we are. Let's build another platform here as well, just to try and smooth things out a little bit. And here, and then we'll put in a, there we go. So that just help speed things up ever so slightly. Excellent. So we have more and more and more trains heading towards Ninwood. We do have these 4 unused tracks, which we can try and make into something a bit more structured. Let's just take one look at our airport. I know we have kind of not touched airports yet. We don't really intend to, but are there options? Yeah, we can build a city airport, which would take up a bigger space. Now we have all that reserved for whatever we want, but we may just increase the space of that airport and then start flying some people in and see if we can grow. We're nearly at 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, we will start looking at air travel. But I'm going to knock that, and then I'm going to build an airport that's slightly bigger than the previous one. Station 2 spread out. What? Oh, do you know what? I don't think we can be bigger than 12, and at the moment that's 7. So let's get rid of one station. I knew we'd do that. 6 tracks. And let's build this into there. And into there. Or we could just put in a... Oh no, we can't. Let's just bulldoze these for the time being. We'll put in our railway. Not a railway, we'll put in our airport. Oh, it's the... Okay. We're going to have to change this then. Come on, get out of the way, car. And now we should be able to put in our airport. This is not what I would like to be doing, or how I would like to be doing it, but it is it is away. So let's go back, and we're going to have to play around with it a little bit to tidy this back up again. Okay. So there, that's one way of getting a route back in. And here we're going to just tidy that up. Yeah, okay. So it's not perfect, not by any stretch, but it'll have to do. Yeah. Okay, so again, not particularly happy about it, but it does mean that we are now up and running. In the meantime, our our bus route is kind of butchered. We don't really need the bus route taking that in, so we're just going to go and see what's here and just take Nindwood out. I'm going to replace that with Nindwood Central. Delete and go to Nindwood Central. And that should change it for all of those buses. Obviously it hasn't done everything, because obviously that would. Oh yeah, of course they're all going to different places. So go to Nindwood Central, delete and skip. This might cause a little bit of confusion early on. Go to Nindwood Central, delete. Delete, go to Nindwood Central, skip. Looks like we've solved all of the problems. Well, as much as we possibly could, at least. Okay, so our goods are still battering away, and we've reached the magic 1,000 mark, and I think that's where we're going to leave it today. I'm a little bit all over the place. We added in our coal mine. We have kind of joined our networks. They meet at a station. We're going to work a way to get around this and to have both going into the same station, and that we can actually get through trains as well. So we might actually move the station here and join up the actual network, but that's maybe a project for the next episode of the show. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to pause it there, and we'll be back for episode 9 in 2 days. Talk to you then.